We are anonymous. No faces, no flags, no permission slips. Breaking news right now. The emperor has no clothes. Donald Trump, once the leader of the free world, has once again proven that his grip on reality is slipping. His cognitive decline is on full display, and the world is watching. It's clear now the man who once held the most powerful position on Earth is unraveling. This isn't just about his usual antics anymore. It's about his mental health, and it's deteriorating in real time. We all knew that Trump wasn't the most stable individual. He was mean, racist, sexist, and often spouted dangerous, delusional statements. But he wasn't always like this. Back in the early years of his presidency, there were signs, yes, but the delusions hadn't fully taken hold. Now it's different. His grip on reality is fading. His public displays, like the one at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, are only further evidence of this sad decline. Let's talk about that summit in Switzerland, because that's where things went from bad to worse. Trump, in what can only be described as a bizarre display of mental disarray, went on a 33-post spree in just 45 minutes. Yes, you read that right. 33 posts in 45 minutes. This wasn't just a man venting his frustrations on social media. This was a breakdown. This was a person who no longer has a clear sense of reality. He posted about everything from his self-proclaimed accomplishments, with NATO, to conspiracies about Dominion voting machines and non-existent voter fraud. His posts were contradictory, incoherent, and frankly disturbing. At one point, he even shared a clip from his 2017 inauguration. Speech like reliving that moment would somehow validate his presidency. It's clear the man is stuck in the past, living in a world of lies, delusions, and dangerous thinking. But that's not where the madness ended. In the middle of this mental meltdown, Trump demanded that the United States immediately seize Greenland from Denmark, further alienating our European allies and showing just how out of touch he truly is. Seizing territory from a NATO ally, that's not only childish, it's reckless. And it's the kind of behavior we expect from a man who is slowly losing his mind. The world watched this unraveling, and some couldn't help but ask, are we watching a mental health crisis unfold in real time? Former Republican Representative Adam Kinzinger didn't mince words when he called out Trump's behavior on Blue Sky, commenting that it was a mad barrage of posts that renewed calls for the 25th Amendment to be invoked. And let's be honest here, it's getting harder to deny the obvious. The man is mentally unfit to serve as president. He's clearly struggling, and his actions, like these erratic social media outbursts, are not those of a competent leader. The world saw it, and so did his supporters. The question now is, how much longer will we allow this to continue? Even a former Republican senator, echoing similar concerns, said, he's not well. He really should be Congress, and the cabinet should be thinking in serious terms about whether he's fit to serve. He's delusional. He doesn't grasp the fact that he's lying. He believes in his own lies. He cannot be persuaded otherwise. These aren't the words of a political opponent. They're the words of a former member of the same party that Trump once led, and he's not alone. Many in his own party are now questioning his fitness for office, though most remain too scared to act on it. It's a sad reality, one that reveals just how far gone Trump really is. And as this former Republican senator also stated, and he has no shame, guilt, or regret, or remorse. I mean, the man is delusional as well as paranoid. This is the portrait of a man who no longer possesses the self-awareness needed to govern, let alone lead a nation. His actions, his lies, his threats, his irrational demands are proof of just how detached from reality he has become. He's not only mentally unstable, he is actively dangerous. In the midst of this digital chaos, Trump also shared a post from a user named Bobby D, who claimed that America's real enemies weren't China or Russia, but NATO and the United Nations. This post went viral, and the rhetoric it contained was beyond dangerous. The user went so far as to call Islam a death cult. Trump didn't just ignore this post. He amplified it, sharing it with his millions of followers. This is the same man who once talked about banning Muslims from entering the United States and spreading harmful, divisive rhetoric that only fuels hate and division. And now he's sharing posts from his supporters who spew the same dangerous ideology. This isn't just a minor slip of the tongue. This is a pattern of behavior that endangers the lives of countless individuals, both here in the U.S. and abroad. We cannot ignore the consequences of this kind of behavior. His posts are more than just online ramblings. They're an extension of his worldview, a worldview that's increasingly out of touch with reality. As his mental state deteriorates, so does the safety and stability of the world around him. This is no longer about just having a bad day or a few embarrassing moments. This is a crisis that could have serious global ramifications if left unchecked. And still his cabinet, his loyalists, and his sycophants continue to prop him up. They continue to normalize his behavior, as if this is just another Trumpian outburst that will pass. But this isn't just an outburst. This is a man who is mentally unfit to lead. If Trump were any other person in this situation, he'd be placed under psychiatric care. Instead, he's allowed to continue spewing this dangerous rhetoric unchecked and unchallenged. The fact that Congress hasn't taken action to invoke the 25th Amendment is beyond troubling. It's negligent. Trump's behavior has also drawn the attention of Democratic lawmakers, including California Senator Ed Markey, who has called for the invocation of the 25th Amendment. The 25th Amendment is clear. When a president is no longer mentally fit to serve, the vice president and the cabinet can remove them from office. In a normal world, this would be the solution. But we don't live in a normal world, and here we are. Trump's still in power, his mental state rapidly declining, and Congress standing by idly as the country faces unprecedented risks. This is where things get even more alarming. Timothy Noah, a staff writer at the New Republic, called out Trump's cabinet for trying to normalize his increasingly erratic behavior. He pointed to Trump's recent threats against Norway, a U.S. ally, simply because the Independent Nobel Committee didn't award him a peace prize, threatening war against NATO because of a perceived slight. This is a president who is completely detached from reality, and yet his cabinet pretends like everything is fine. The worst thing they could do is continue to pretend that this man is fit to lead. The truth is, Trump is mentally unstable, and his actions are becoming more dangerous by the day. The 25th Amendment should have been invoked months ago, but Republicans in their blind loyalty to Trump refuse to act. They are allowing this mental health crisis to continue, putting the country and the world at risk. And it's not just about the global threats he's making, it's about the damage he's doing to the fabric of this nation. His rhetoric is poisoning the minds of his followers, creating a dangerous and volatile environment. He's tearing apart the very unity this country once stood for. And for what? To protect his fragile ego, to maintain his power. The longer we let this go on, the more dangerous it becomes. Trump's presidency was a threat to the country from the very beginning, but now as his mental state deteriorates, that threat is becoming even more pronounced. He's already threatened war with NATO, demanded the seizure of foreign territory, and spread harmful conspiracy theories. What's next? How much more damage can he cause before we take action? It's clear that we cannot rely on his cabinet to do the right thing. It's up to Congress to act now. The 25th Amendment is the only solution, but Congress continues to stay silent. The time to act is now before Trump does any more damage, before his mental decline leads to something far worse. This man should not be allowed to continue as president, and it's time for Congress to remove him from office. We are anonymous, and we will not rest until justice is served. The time for inaction is over. We must hold those in power accountable for their actions, and we must demand that they invoke the 25th Amendment before it's too late. The world is watching, and we will not stand by while this man continues to destroy everything he touches. If you agree with us, if you believe it's time for Trump to go, then share this message. Spread the word. The time for change is now. We are anonymous. No faces, no flags, no permission slips. We are the voice of truth, and we will not stop until this crisis is over. Expect us.